Jai Janindra everyone. On this auspicious occasion of DasLakshan Mahaparva, today is day one, Uttam Kshama Dharma or Supreme Forgiveness. Yesterday we had one more lecture of Swanubhuti Didi where she explained about the introduction to DasLakshan Dharma, DasLakshan Parv. In that lecture, we have learned about what is Dharma, what is the Swarup of this Dharma, what is the meaning of Dharma. Are there 10 dharma or there are just 10 virtues? All these questions have been answered yesterday by Swanubhuti Didi. And today we have started this series. Every day of the Selection Mahaparva, we will be learning about each virtue. So today, very privileged to have Anubhav Bhaiya, who is here with us. All of you must be familiar with him through few of his earlier lecture at JEEV portal. And today we have invited him to throw some light on Uttam Kshama Dharma, Day 1, Supreme Forgiveness. Over to you, Anubhav Bhaiya.
Thank you, Harshibhai. Jai Janendra, everyone. So let's start with the discussion on supreme forgiveness, Uttam Kshama, on these very auspicious days. Let's start with Mangalacharya. Namo Arhantadam, Namo Siddhadam, Namo Ayariyadam, Namo Uvachayadam, Namo Loy Saffasapudam. Mangalam Bhagwan Viro, Mangalam Gautamo Gani, Mangalam Kunda Kundatyo, Jain Dharmostu Mangalam, Sarva Mangalya Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyana Karakam, Pradhanam Sarva Dharmanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam, Jainam Jayatu Shasanam. मोक्षमार्गस्य नेतारं भेत्तारं कर्मभूभृतां ज्ञातारं विश्वतत्त्वानां वन्दे तत्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तत्गुणलब्धये वन्दे तत्गुणलब्धये. So the most awaited days of the year start today, and what a wonderful, pious, and amazing, heartening day today is the day of forgiveness, the day when we celebrate Kshama. The Kshama word of originally Sanskrit language having its lineage from Prakrita and many more languages. Kshama carries so much weight in it that all other words, like all the translations, one of which being forgiveness, which we are going to use today, they sound so little in front of this word Kshama. Why so? Because not just that this word in itself is being called dharma, and all Jains globally use most this word. While it's the day of Kshama Vani, we all say Uttam Kshama. We always are trying to celebrate the Shama in our daily lives, in our natural community, in our day-to-day relationships. We are always saying that, okay, we are the people who celebrate kindness, and therefore we are not willing to hurt anybody. And if by any means, by my words, by my acts, by my thoughts, if I have ever hurt you, I seek your forgiveness. And behold, don't worry, I hold no grudges against you. I forgive you too. And it looks such a beautiful emotion that, okay, we are being so kind, so delicate to everybody. But at the same time, if we only understand Shama by this notion of politeness, by this notion of being nice to everybody and being forgiving and being generous, then it becomes the most misunderstood term as well. Because when we are talking about dharma, the dharma by definition is not the emotion which in itself is flavored with rag. Dharma is always which contains vitragata in it. So if The notion of kshama ultimately leads us to be ragis. That okay, I'm being kind, I'm being generous, I'm being considerate towards other beings. That ultimately means that we are being ragi. In a very good sense, I'm not being cruel to anybody. I'm not being unkind to anybody. I'm not hurting anybody. But just because I'm not hurting anybody and just because I'm ready to forgive everybody, does that make me a contender of true dharma? In the eyes of Lord Mahavir Swami, it's not sufficient. It's not going to be that way. And therefore, the journey of a seeker who thinks to start on the path of salvation, the path to liberation, the first step is to consider and to contemplate the real nature of kshama. What kshama is. That is what we're going to discuss today. And it's not just Kshama, it's Uttam Kshama, it's supreme forgiveness, right? So, as we all know, while we were contemplating what should be the nature of dharma, we said, Samyak Darshan Gyan Charitrani Moksha Marga. The Ratnatraya is the dharma of a sadhak jiva, of a jiva who is the contender of Moksha Marga, who wants to become mukta, who wants to free from this great state of bondage. And so the Ratnatraya becomes dharma. And what Ratnatraya is? It is just the right belief, believing just as much as the reality is, nothing more, nothing less. Knowing about it in that sufficient amount of knowledge, knowing everything just as much I need to contemplate for my own happiness. And after I have sorted my belief and knowledge, just celebrating the life, the living through it becomes our conduct, becomes our character, becomes our charitra. So, three things: believing, knowing, and doing after what you believe and you know are in tandem. That in itself becomes the whole dharma. And what happens once we accomplish the Ratnatraya, when we get Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, and Samyak Charitra, in that event, in that very pious event, in right sense, does these 10 qualities which we are going to celebrate in these 10 days, they become activated and life becomes such a beautiful dwelling for each one of us. So, Ratnatraya, which starts with Samyak Darshan and Samyak Gyan, and later is followed by Samyak Charitra, in truest sense, while Puja Gurudev Shri discussed about Kshama in the context of this first day of Paryushan Parva or DasLakshan Mahaparva, he very beautifully says that once we have attained Samyak Darshan and Samyak Gyan, we then truly become true contenders of Charitra. And Charitra is the real dharma. Charitam khaludhammo, as he quotes Acharya Kundev. And then it becomes a discovery. So if my belief is right and if my knowledge is at par, then whatever I do becomes the act of kindness, becomes the act of truth, becomes the act of humility, becomes the act of purity. So therefore, even the discussion on Kshama, it will not be an emotional one. It will not ask us to be considerate of others because there are so many jivas who are enduring the papodhe, who are enduring the harshness of life, and therefore we should go kind on them. There are so many people who just do not have control over their passions, their kashayas, and therefore they're always angry. They're always filled with pride. They're always thinking ways to cheat us. They're always so greedy. And therefore, we need to take the higher stand and we need to be forgiveful for them. We need to be kind towards them. No, we do not have to take any higher stand. We just have to understand that if I have eaten poison, then there is no point in feeling pity for myself because death is the consequence. It's just cause and effect. If somebody has done an emotion of pap, if he has practiced a wise thought, then the consequences will follow. So if I have not been upright in my doings, then I'm going to endure the harshness of the karma. The life will not be the easy one. So that does not make me a person who should, anybody should feel pity for, or who should anybody should come to help for. If I have killed, if I have practiced violence, then it is the violence that I have accrued for me, I have earned for myself. And when a day in future comes when I am being killed, isn't it immoral to expect somebody else to come and save me? What was I doing when I myself was on the other side and I was the killer? Was I expecting somebody to rescue the pity soul which I was killing? I was not. So, the notion when the right belief comes, the question does not become of kindness. The question does not become of daya. The question becomes of what is right and what is wrong. So a Samyak Drishti Jiva contemplates life. He sees the life unfolding. He sees that, okay, there are people who are bonded by the karmas, and the karmodayas are of two types. There are people who are living the life full of luxury, who are living the good days, and there are people who are having difficult days. There are people who have punyodaya, there are people who have papodaya. These two people, when you see somebody who is having punyodaya, you might feel jealous of them. You might feel that okay, I also want to be like them. When you see people who are enduring the bad days of their lives, the bad times that they're enduring, they're living in poverty, they're not having the means for the basic survivals, they are having all sorts of um, uh, injuries, they're having all sorts of diseases, mental disabilities, they're not intelligent, they're not enough, they're not beautiful, they're not powerful. We feel sorry for them and we want to help them. So, two emotions. In both these sections, we are only thinking about others. Either their good life is making us feel jealous or making us feel ambitious that I also want to live that life. Or if their sorry state is visible to us, it makes us feel sorry and we want to help them. In no way do we contemplate that it is only part of the story. Today, I see them in that sorry state. Today, I see them in that very good state. But what I forget is they are also following the arrow of time. It is not just this life which becomes my whole identity, my entire reality. I have had very difficult days in the past, and I will surely have some beautiful days in my future. But will any of those hardships or luxuries will they survive? Will they continue for time immemorial, for the infinite times, which my journey is all about? They will not. And there we lose the point. We are so indulged in this wrong belief that yes, I can save somebody, and we start becoming forgiveful. We start becoming kind. We start being compassionate. We think that I have the authority to kill somebody. We start being cruel. These both the emotions are originating from the same belief. I can kill somebody, that gives me the authority to be rageful, to be angry. And therefore, because I can kill somebody, somehow I also have the power to save somebody. And that originates from the same belief that I can dictate the life of others. So I have the power to save somebody, I have the power to kill somebody. So in this belief, neither the person who is killing nor the person who is saving, none of these two people are different. On the scale of their belief, they both are standing on the same wrong belief. One says, I can kill. The other says, I can save. And they both are trying to kill somebody else or save somebody else. And that's where the Samyak Darshan tells us how foolish these people are. All the notions of killing or saving, a Samyak Drishti Jiva actually thinks that I cannot tolerate this ignorance, and this ignorance, this thought process is not for me. So, neither am I ever going to enjoy the thought of killing somebody, nor I'm here to save somebody else. Because this world follows the rules which follow cause and effect, and nothing happens for no reason. So whatever is happening because those jivas have done such bhavas, have practiced such emotions, which have attracted such type of karmic influx, which has now resulted in such type of karmic fruition. It's all the part of the equation. And when everything is going just as per the plan, what is the need for me to feel anything for them? I should be the last person to be worried about others. And it's okay if I have that luxury, if I have that power to be worried about others and to take others out of their miseries. Congratulations. But have we asked ourselves this one question? Have I helped myself? Have I been kind to myself? Have I made myself out of all sorts of problems, miseries, all sorts of dukh? And have I ensured that those miseries, those problems will not repeat, will not run after me again in near future? If you have sorted this question, then congratulations, you're free to help everybody if you can. But if you have not, then it automatically becomes too foolish to be considerate of others' happiness and to be ignorant of your own. And therefore, Tirthankar Mahavir Swami says the true Kshama is not in saving others, is not in being kind to others. True Ahimsa is not to not kill somebody else. The true ahimsa, true kshama, true forgiveness that lies in standing up for your own happiness, for your own safety, for your own joy, bliss. To not hurt yourself in truest form is Uttam Kshama. So Uttam word, the supreme word, it dictates, it is the notional word for Samyak Darshan, forgiveness, but with right belief. Because what world thinks forgiveness is completely in opposite of what Jain Tirthankaras have been preaching. Jain Tirthankaras have not told us to be kind to everybody. That is the outcome of being kind to yourself. But if you're not kind to yourself, you can be for a day, for a month, for a year, for a lifetime, be kind to others. But when you die from this life and you take birth in Naraka, when you take birth in Triyancha, when you become another birth of human being, when you take that birth, can you guarantee you'll still be continuing that Shama towards others? I don't think if a person who dies and takes birth in Narak will be filled with forgiveness, no matter how much forgiveness he has practiced in his past life. A person who takes up the birth of an animal, very hard to be to practice forgiveness. Why? Because, as the Thankaras have told us, as Vitragi Muniraj always practice, they're saying it's not our duty to help others. Our first duty is to help ourselves. So, therefore, the Kshama, I'll share what Ajay Tirthankaras have been telling us. And that's such a good and beautiful thought. When I realized that every soul exists independently, that no one can truly harm or help me, and that my suffering arises only from my own karma, not others. Anger dissipates, and true forgiveness starts, bringing lasting peace. What is supreme forgiveness? It's not about helping others. It's not about being kind to others. It's not about forgiving others. It's about contemplating what the reality, how the world functions. Where do I stand in this great scheme of things? And is there anything that I should be afraid of that other substances can harm me or save me? So, if nobody can harm me, I need not be worried of anything. I should not fear. If nobody can save me, I should not beg. Begging is also an act of cruelty towards the self, and so is being afraid, so is being rageful, so is being angry. So while we understand this notion, That yeah, in this world there is no enemy that I have, because enemy would be the one who can threaten my existence, and there is not even a single substance whom should I be afraid of, because they cannot just kill me. I am Sat. I have my own utpad dravya. I have my own astitva, my own existence, and therefore I'm scared of nobody. And when I'm not scared of anybody, even if somebody runs after me, taking a sword in his hand and tries to kill me, I know that despite all his efforts of killing me, at best he can have this body. He will never have me. This body is not me. This name is not me. All these accumulations are not me. What I really am is truly the soul which is filled with so much of Kshama, so much of Satya, Arjav, Marjav, Sanyam. It's the soul which is full of virtues and which I am. And therefore, nobody can hurt me. And therefore, there is no place of anger in myself. Also, can I help anybody else? Can I be helped? Is there a God who can help me? If there is a God, then I must pray him and beg that, okay, God, please save me. But no, it's only my karma that can help me. It's only my purusharth that can save me. So, while I am only answerable to my own actions, there is nobody in this world who is going to hurt me. So, I carry anger towards nobody. There is nobody who can save me, and therefore I have hopes from nobody, and therefore living a life in truest sense full of contentment and joy, feeling unafraid and feeling supremely kind unto all these substances, that in truest sense becomes the ahimsa of Tirthankar Mahavir Bhagwan. So it's not about helping others. The forgiveness is about the very reality of this world, that one substance cannot hurt the another. So not hurting other is not the forgiveness. Understanding that I cannot hurt anybody is actual forgiveness. So forgiveness is the soul's true nature. When engrossed in itself, no external factors seem desirable or undesirable, preventing anger from arising. This is supreme forgiveness. So, world does reverse engineering. What we do, first, we find the ways where we can be unhappy. So, we figure out, okay, this person I don't like, and if he talk to me, I'll not feel good. This person was not good to me. He did not behave well with me. So first we identify that, okay, who all are the possible acquaintances which can make me feel bad. And once they hurt us, all in our mind, once they do make us feel bad, then we do reverse engineering. Okay. Now I should be kind. I should forgive them, because what my Bhagwan has told me, what Jains are supposed to do, they are supposed to be very nice people. So I should not hurt anybody. And that's why we say, okay, forgive me. Uttam Kshama. This is what we say. Michami Dukkadam. And we say it with, our chest swelling. We say, yeah, this is the genuinity of Jainism, that, okay, I am here to seek forgiveness. And also, I forgive you no matter how bad you have been with me. And we take pride in this notion. But this is not what the real Kshama is. And therefore, we all Jains as community, and we all beings as part of this reality, we must contemplate. When I'm saying I forgive you, do I say it out of arrogance that, okay, I am taking the higher stand and I choose to forgive you? If this is my attitude, then it is not Kshama. It is pride. It is arrogance that, yeah, okay, go, I forgive you. Please make sure you don't repeat this again. I forgive you today. This is not what Mahavir Bhagwan has taught us, to be arrogant. And also, if we have forgiven somebody for, a great crime that we perceived it as a great crime that he did to us, he cheated us, when we trusted him the most, he cheated on us. Yeah. So despite that, I have forgiven him. So now we become, despite that, he did so much to me, so much bad he did to me, and I still chose to forgive him. And somehow we feel good about it. Our wrong beliefs still intact, very firm, very much there, and we think that we are practicing forgiveness. So this is the very, very, very pure state, very, I would say, the most auspicious one when we are given an opportunity to ask certain questions to ourselves. Like, okay, while I am helping others, is it really that I am helping others or am I helping myself? Is an act of kindness. Okay, if I help a person who is total stranger, if I help them, did I do a favor to them or did I do a favor to myself? Whom did I actually help? Because can I help the other person? No. The other person's own actions will help him. I did the action of helping. So this was my emotion. That was my kindness. My kindness will attract the new influx of new karmas. They will be coming to me. And those karmas then at their own time will come to fruition. And those karma will reward or punish me. So if I'm helping somebody else, it's not the other person I'm helping. If I'm forgiving somebody else, it's not the other person I'm forgiving. No, I'm not doing any favor to anybody. And if I think that I'm doing any favor, means I'm being arrogant. I've not understood how this world functions. So what Majin Vani is asking us is to be considerate towards ourselves. Whatever we do in this world, we do it to ourselves. We do it unto ourselves. Even if it may look like that I'm helping somebody else, like Parsh Kumar helped those two snakes, right, who were burning down inside that wooden log. It appears that, okay, Parshnath saved those snakes and then he whispered Amukar mantra in their ears. And as a result, those two snakes went to Swarg, became Dharnendra Padmavati. Did Parsh Kumar help the snakes? The world would say so. But then, fast forward, now he is Parshvat Muniraj. He is in his dhyan, and suddenly the jiva of Kamat comes, the Kal Samvar Deva, and starts throwing stones and doing upsarg. All sorts of madness is happening to Parsh Kumar. And suddenly what happens? Again, the Dharnendra Padmavati come and they try to rescue him from the upsarga. I want to ask, who was saving whom? Did Parshnath save those snakes? Or are Dharnendra Padmavati saving Parsh Kumar? No! All these are the consequences of their own parinams. What he did came back to him. So, whatever we do, we never do it to others because we have no authority to trespass others' existence. What supreme forgiveness entails, it tells us that, okay, be generous, be very contemplative about what reality is. Whatever comes to us is just the repetition, is just the resounding of our own thoughts and emotions. And that is what all the karmic bondage is about. So rather than doing good towards other and stopping doing bad, why should not be abandon the doing itself? Earlier, all my energy was going in hurting others because I wanted to eat some delicious food. I chose to kill an animal. Because I wanted to have some entertainment, I went to the jungle and hunted down a few animals. Because I wanted to be entertained, I actually caged a few animals and now their skin is on my wall. I practiced anger for my own happiness. Then I realized I became kind. I said, okay, now it's not my job to kill anybody, but I'm going to save everybody now. And now I have reversed the role. Earlier I was killing and now I am saving. But in both these scenarios, I am the one who is being a servant of others. Earlier I was involved in the killing of others. Now I'm involved in the saving of others. But in this job which is being done towards others, it is me who has been left alone. What about me? Who's thinking about me? So whether it's killing or is it saving, in both these emotions, my entire focus is the lives of others. And when I focus too much on others, it's my life that dries up, and we become very raw in our own emotions, in our own peace. So, what Mahavir Bhagwan is saying, you need not kill anybody, which you already know, but also the opposite of it is also not true. Because you need not kill anybody because you cannot kill anybody, and therefore you need not save anybody because you cannot save anybody. All that you need to do is to let go of that emotion of killing or saving. You let go of dvesh or raga, krodh or daya. The Uttam Kshama, the supreme forgiveness, is not being filled with compassion. It's being vitragi. It's not feeling the rage nor the compassion. And therefore, the forgiveness of Jainism, the forgiveness of Tirthankar Rishabdeva, Tirthankar Mahavira, the forgiveness of Acharya Kunda Deva, the forgiveness of Acharya Tharsen Deva, the forgiveness of this great Jaina tradition is not about saving somebody. It's about freeing the self from the bondage of ignorance and karmas and attaining a truly pure nature, which is Shuddhatman. So, what acharyas are going to tell us about Kshama while we'll be thinking about contemplation of Kshama? Let's summarize what Kshama is all about. A mundane being has never truly experienced forgiveness, only varying intensities of anger. So when I'm really angry, I'm killing somebody. When I'm less angry, I'm saving somebody. I'm not being forgiveful. We are only going through that perpetual state of delusion. Yeah. The ignorant soul sees external factors as good or bad, leading to attachments and aversions. So when I'm feeling attached, I want to take care, I want to protect. And when I have the emotion of dvesh, aversions, I want to let go, I want to kill, I want to destroy. These both are the same emotions in different ends. Revenge, a deeper anger harms the one holding it more than others. It's purely simple. When I'm angry, it's me who is definitely not feeling well. My anger is reaching the other party or not, it's no guarantee. So if I get angry, there is definitely one person who is hurt, and that person, unfortunately, is me. Other person whom I am angry at might get angry, might feel hurt or not. No guarantee. So therefore, anger of mild range or anger of higher range, call it revenge, it only ends up harming us. So there is no point in doing that. Frustration, irritation, sulking are subtle forms of anger. Supreme forgiveness is their complete absence. So it's not about the negative anger. The forgiveness is not negative anger like what compassion is. Forgiveness is the state of equanimity. It's the state of samatha. It's the state of samya, the truest dharma. And you know who is famous in this great uh, virtue of the soul, Kshama Dharma. A great story of King Shrenik is often repeated and told in the Jaina tradition while we talk about Uttam Kshama. So Shrenik Raja, everybody knows about Shrenik Raja. He was a devotee of Buddhism earlier, and he wanted to teach Rani Chevna a lesson that, okay, I am going to tell you that, the Jain monks are fraud. And so one day he went to hunt down a few animals into the jungle where he discovered that there was a Jain monk who was sitting on a rock. He was Yashodhar Muni Raj. Out of revenge, he sent all his wild dogs onto the Muni Raj. But the dogs, who were very cruel, very wild, very angry, when they saw the quiet state, the peaceful state of Muni Raj, they became quiet, as if Muni Raj has done some sorts of magic to on those dogs. Out of frustration, King Shrenik, what he did, there was a dead snake. He took that dead snake and he put the dead snake on the shoulders of Yashodhar Muniraj, and he went back to his kingdom. 3 days passed, nobody talked, and then he met Rani Chelna, and he recalled, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that I met one fraud Muniraj, and I did this to him." Chelna fainted, and she said, "No, if he was really a true Digambar Muniraj, they're filled with forgiveness, they're filled with endurance, and he won't run away." So they all went to that jungle again, and to their surprise, Mudiraj Yashodhar was just there, winning the Upsarga with all his compassion, with all his supreme forgiveness. Kshama. Raja Shreni cleaned his body with tears in his eyes and great thought of regret that what did I do? And when Muniraj came out of the dhyan, he said, Dharma Vridhirastu, may you all have the glory of the Dharma. And to his shock, Raja Shrenik said, I did this bad to you. And you're only wishing good for me. You're telling that I also attain the Dharma. Do I even deserve it? And then he realized that yes, there is no point. Acharya Muniraj Yashodhar, he did not consider Raja Shrenik his enemy, nor the ants, nor the snake. He only considered the Vitrag Bhav, and he kept it safe. He protected his own Vitrag Bhav. He protected his soul by not letting it be angry onto anybody. And that's where the beauty of Jainism lies. No matter how much no matter how difficult the life becomes, no matter how ill treated we become in our bad days, we must make it a point taking inspiration from all our acharyas, all our monks, taking that inspiration, we must create a great character which is not only compassionate from the outside but filled with kshama from within. It's not sufficient to be good from the outside and to be of very helping nature. Yeah, that is very superficial. But what will count and go a long way with us? That will be the emotion of vitaragta. That comes after we have curtailed, after we have garnered the right belief, the right knowledge, the right conduct comes to us. And that conduct blooms with kshama when we understand that in this world, there is not even a single substance who can do anything to me and of whom I can do any harm or I can save. So, Uttam Kshama, the very first day, it is the beginning of the syllabus that we have to follow not for these next 10 days, but for this lifetime. And so that we become Siddhas who are the true examples of what forgiveness should feel like. That, you cannot touch them, they cannot hurt anybody, they truly display the beauty of the soul, which is filled with supreme forgiveness. I wish that in these 10 days, we contemplate each and every quality of the soul, and we'll find that each quality is painted with Kshama, with this thought that in this world, there is no enemy that I have, and there is no friend that I should be wary of. There is only me and myself, and therefore, all my sadhana, all my life should be devoted to garner this thought of Vidrata. May Uttam Kshama bless us with the supreme state of being, which is Siddhadasha, and we all truly become completely Kshama Purna. And in that way, I think the great Jinvani Ma, the whole effort of Tirthankar Updesh Parampara, it will be successful and will be truly uh, attaining the joyful state, which is very much what the soul deserves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anubhav Bhaiya, for this beautiful start to this DasLakshan Mahaparva. In today's lecture, we have learned about Uttam Kshama Dharma. In yesterday's lecture, Swanubhuti Di explained about the four kashai, absence of four kashai lead to top four dharma respectively, top four virtues respectively, which is Uttam Shama, Mardav, Arjav, and Shauch. So in today's dharma, Bhaiya explained about the absence of anger, which is Krodh Kashai. But what is the true meaning of Uttam Shama Dharma? is you cannot forgive someone or you cannot be forgiven by someone. Since we believe in अकर्तावाद, एक द्रव्य दूसरे द्रव्य का कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मात्र ज्ञाता ही रहता है. So that kind of concept, that kind of policy we need to learn about Uttam Shama Dharma as well. That Shama Swabhavi, that is me. This is the main motive of Uttam, which is supreme. Shama, forgiveness. Dharam means Swabhav, the nature. So, without explaining much, since we have already learned this topic 35-40 minutes with a lot of good examples, and presentation is already there on the portal. So, if anyone has any question, you can drop down in the comment section. We will help you reach out to our expert Anubhav Bhaiya. And yeah, Bhaiya, we can proceed with Jinwani Stuti now.
निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है। उसके लिए छिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है। उसके लिए छिन वाणी माँ को वंदना शत बार है। बोले उत्तम क्षमा धर्म की जय हो। दशलक्षण धर्म महापर्व की जय हो।
9 times Namo.